Imagine you meet someone who seems perfectly normal, charming, intelligent, and friendly. Now, imagine that same person hides a deadly secret. What if the kind stranger you met was, in fact, one of history's most terrifying serial killers? This is the story of Ted Bundy, a man who confessed to killing over 30 women across the United States. But that's only the surface of this twisted tale. In the 1970s, Ted Bundy led a double life, an outwardly respectable man who concealed unspeakable darkness. From Washington to Florida, Bundy's charm and cunning helped him evade justice for years, while dozens of young women tragically lost their lives. Let's dive into the chilling story of Ted Bundy and how he deceived everyone around him. Ted Bundy was born in 1946 and seemed to live an ordinary life. He attended the University of Washington, dated women, and worked in various jobs. People liked him. They admired his intelligence, his politeness. But beneath this normal exterior was a man who craved control and violence. As his need for power grew, so did his deadly impulses. In the early 1970s, young women began to disappear across several states. At first, no one saw the connection, but soon, the disappearances formed a chilling pattern. Young, attractive women vanishing without a trace. The killer's calling card was not just his brutality, but his ability to appear harmless. Bundy's greatest weapon wasn't a knife or a gun. It was his charm. He would approach his victims in public places, pretending to be injured or asking for help. And many women, trusting the man who appeared vulnerable, would willingly assist him, not knowing that they were walking into his deadly trap. Once he lured them into his car, Bundy would overpower his victims, taking them to remote locations where he committed unspeakable acts of violence. His methods were calculated, and he knew exactly how to cover his tracks. But his charm, his ability to blend in, was what made him so dangerous. Ted Bundy's reign of terror spanned multiple states, from Washington to Colorado, then all the way to Florida. Bundy continued his spree of abductions and murders. His ability to move between states kept him one step ahead of the authorities, exploiting the lack of coordination between law enforcement agencies at the time. In 1975, Bundy was finally arrested in Utah after police found items in his car that hinted at his darker side: handcuffs, a crowbar, and masks. But even after his arrest, Bundy remained elusive. Bundy wasn't just clever, he was bold. He escaped from custody twice, first from a courthouse in Colorado, and later from a jail cell. His second escape led to one of the most horrifying chapters in his story: the attack on a sorority house at Florida State University, where 2 women were brutally murdered in their sleep. But in 1978, Bundy's luck finally ran out. After yet another brutal murder, this time of a 12-year-old girl, Bundy was caught, and this time, he wouldn't escape. Bundy's trial became a national spectacle, with Bundy insisting on representing himself in court. His charm was on full display, and he even managed to manipulate the media. But the evidence against him was overwhelming. In 1979, Ted Bundy was sentenced to death for the murders in Florida. He would spend nearly a decade on death row before being executed in the electric chair in 1989. Outside the prison, crowds gathered to celebrate the end of a man whose crimes had terrorized the nation. Ted Bundy's story isn't just about murder. It's about deception, manipulation, and the terrifying reality that evil can wear the most familiar face. His legacy still haunts us today, and his crimes forced us to rethink how we see those around us. Bundy changed how law enforcement operates and how we profile violent criminals. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, follow our YouTube channel for more videos.